Hello all, welcome to my channel. First of all, I would like to say wish you happy new year to everyone. So may this year brings you lots of happiness and success together. And if you are first time coming to my channel, please subscribe and please like, comment and share. So we are building some content on RPA Business Analyst. So this is the first channel we do have for RPA Business Analyst. So we are covering some series of videos on RPA Business Analyst. So please browse from my channel. And let's quickly jump into our session. So today we are going to see what is SDLC and the phases of SDLC and what is the roles and responsibilities of a business analyst in the SDLC. So you all know what is SDLC, software development life cycle. So in each and every project, SDLC plays a major role, you all know. And what is this role and all, let's see. So why we require an SDLC in the RPA robotic process automation? So it is not a bias of any tool of UiPath or Automation Anywhere or a Blue Prism or Cofax. So it is not like that. So any automation project, we need to follow SDLC. So why we need to follow SDLC is, so if the SDLC is having different life cycles and each life cycle will it has its own responsibility and its own importance. So each stage we can accomplish successfully and we can track our results and we can achieve our target to the delivery and we can get our client satisfaction and even product which we are going to develop will be 100% accurate. So this is what why we need to require SDLC and why we need to follow the SDLC in the RPA life cycle. So here, as we are business analyst, so we need to understand, so what are the stages of an SDLC, especially in RPA, and how RPA business analyst will be responsible and how he will act in the each and every stage, you know. um, RPA in a day-to-day life of RPA projects, so we see RPA business analyst and the managers are playing a key role to achieve their delivery and achieve their clients expectations and all. So in the each stage these people are involving more and these people are interacting with client, interacting with technical team, interacting with testing team, interacting with supporting team. So all these things. So here we see, so for example, the first stage in the automation is discovery phase. So in the discovery phase, we do have what is discovery phase. So the discovery phase is the phase where we usually call an requirement gathering phase, or usually we said an initial stage of automation, we used to say that. Okay, so in the discovery phase, so what is the thing we used to do in the discovery phase? So in the discovery phase, usually we take the complete requirements, we understand the processes from SME, and we ask a number of questions to the SME to understand the process to in a better way. For like the questions, like what is the average handling time of the process, what is the FT of this process, what is the business application is working, whether it is a Citrix application, whether it is a web-based application, whether it is a SAP, what how many transactions has been happening, how many volume it is happening, what is the average handling time of the process, and all this set of questions we need to ask to the business SME to understand our requirement and to get our requirement very clear. Okay, so in this discovery phase we can split into pre-discovery, post-discovery and the requirement gathering. So in the pre-discovery phase, as a business analyst will interact with the SMEs directly and he will be taking care of the complete requirement end to end. And what he will do initially, he will start taking the requirement from the business teams and understand the process in a high level and start preparing his notes. Okay, so this is the main stage we as a business analyst we need to see. So in this stage only we will call one more thing like IPA. What is IPA? IPA is the initial process assessment. So in the discovery phase only, like usually we used to do the initial process assessment. So initial process assessment means we are assessing the process. Basically the SME is having a process, manual process. You need to understand whether it is feasible for automation or not. You need to understand what is the limitation of this process. You need to see the, like, whether it is flexible for your automation or not. You are the responsible person to select the good candidate for RPA or a bad candidate for RPA. Why it is not good candidate or why it is a bad candidate. So you have its own criteria, so you have your own limitations and all. So you need to see this, like, in the initial process automation. So you need to determine the potentials of automation process using your RPA tools, and you need to identify a process if it is the right fit for automation, whether it is to be identified. And the in this discovery phase usually we take like identification of the processes, prioritization of the processes, estimation the processes, and we are creating the draft mode of the document, like as is process map and the to be process map. And we need to see the complexity of the processes as well, and we need to see the possibilities of automation, whether we can do the automation with this process or not, whether it is feasible or not. And even in the requirement gathering phase only we can see the benefits of automation, like ROI, return of investment, what we are getting by this automation and all. Then only you can finalize this process for automation, and when only you can finalize your automation tool, and then only you go with the next stage of RPA implementation stage. So in the each stage, like identification, prioritization, even complexity analysis, you need to follow some basic measurements, and you need to follow some standard input, standard steps to take when taking as an RPA process. So this is called a discovery phase. So as I'm repeating, in the discovery phase we have pre-discovery phase, post discovery phase, and the initial process assessment, and requirement gathering, and the identification of the process, prioritizing the process, estimation of the processes, and some minimal documentation of creating the, like, draft mode version of as is process map, and collecting the input from the SME, and questionnaire to the SME, ask a number of questions to the SME to understand. And also this kind of things you need to do in the requirement gathering phase or a discovery phase or a IPA phase usually we do. So before going to the next stage, in the discovery phase, if you want me to explore more, or if you want me to give some sort of examples and all, please let me know via comment, or please reach out me in LinkedIn. So definitely I will do separate video, or separate create separate content on the each stage. So for a proper and high level understanding, I'm jumping to the next stage. So the next stage is the documentation stage. In the documentation, what is documentation in this stage? So in RPA, documentation also plays a major role. So who creates these documentations and what are the documents? So business analyst is the person who moderates and who creates the most of the documents for RPA implementation processes until the delivery. So what are the documents BA creates. In the discovery phase also, requirement gathering phase also, as per the process, as per the client, as per the company, they have some standards. And for picking the right process for automation also, he will create some document or some Excel template to picking the right process. How he will identify the process. For identifying the process, he will create. And he can create, but for prioritizing the process, like this process is having some X benefits, this process is having Y benefits, and prioritize the process and estimate the process, whether it is a good, like low level automation, medium level automation, high level automation. So for estimation also, he will create some tracker, he will create some template. And in the discovery phase, as per the notes, as per the inputs provided by the SME, he used to create some maps, right, as this process map and to be process map by using some Microsoft Visio or some other tool. So he create that, thus that maps also we will need to consider as a documentation. Once the requirement gathering is clear, once he feel comfortable, and once he got the 100% input, and he will deliver his knowledge to the SME, like SME, my understandings is clear, and can you please confirm. And then he start documenting the PDD document, which is the key and heart of the RPA processes, you all know, and you all creating the documents, and the importance of this thing. So I once again I will tell, PDD is the document which plays a major role in the RPA implementation until the delivery. So who creates the PDD? Business analyst creates the PDD. So once he understood the requirement completely, he creates the as his process map, and he creates the to be process map. So while you are creating the to be process map, I give you suggestion that the RPA limitations, the RPA things, and the tool limitations, and you understood the business process, and you created the to be as this process map, and you created the to be process map. Here my suggestion is, when you are creating the to be process map, so sit with your solution architect, or sit with your technical architect, or a technical lead who gives the solution to this process. Ask him to give some inputs to our to be process map. So to be process map is the map we are doing for our robot. So understand, you explain him the manual process and take his inputs as well, and add more expectations and more scenarios, or more things to your to be process map, to make the to be process map 100% robust. That makes the sense, and that makes the difference between the as is process map and a to be process map. So as a BA, you can create, I know, but take the input from your solution architect, technical architect, or a technical lead, and create the to be process map. So once the process maps are created, done, and whatever you feel it is important, put it down in the paper of PDD, include it in the PDD, like screenshots, input templates, output templates, exception scenarios, business exceptions, system exceptions, like the what do I call, like the threats we are what you are feeling, what we are building the robot, and what you agreed in the stage of requirement gathering, what are the limitations, what are the delivery you are doing, all these things you can mention. So we do have a template for UiPath officially, and we do have a template for automation anywhere, we do have a template for Blue Prism. So you can browse that, or you can create your own template as per your customer requirement, as per your client requirement, as per your use case requirement. You can create your own template. But my suggestion is, when you are creating the to be process maps and a PDD document, just consider your a technical architect or solution architect, and take his inputs as well, and create the robustness of your document. So once the PDD is done, in the discovery phase, you have created so many documents that is for internal purpose, and the documentation of the PDD. So PDD is done, and take the approval from the business SME. And once the PDD is done, your solution architect, or technical architect, or technical lead, he will create the SDD, solution design document, so which will having the complete solution of your RPA processes. And so he is responsible for that. So PDD and SDD plays a major role in our RPA processes in the documentation stage. And so once the both documents are created, you are the responsible as a BA, you are the responsible person to take the sign off of these documents. To take the sign off of the document, talk to your business and take the sign off. Without sign off of the documents, don't move to the next stage. It's my suggestion. Lock your documents, track your documents, lock your the business processes which you are agreed, lock it, sign off it, take the sign off email from the business team, take the sign off note from the business team, then only you go with the next stage. So this is the documentation we do follow in the before the development. And the next phases also I tell what are the documents as a BA he do. The next stage is development. So before going to the development, once the PDD SDDs are done, so we do create a tracker, or we do create a document called estimation document. In the estimation template, estimation document, we need to create the estimations for each stage, like development, testing, UAT, delivery. So as per the business process, like whether it is a web automation, whether it is Citrix automation, whether it is SAP automation, whether it is a mainframe automation, whether it is Oracle automation, whether it is something called some other new OCR involved and all. As per the standard, you give the estimations and you take the technical architect help and prepare the estimations and take the sign off from your COE heads and deliver to your customer and set the expectations and set the estimations in the initial stage only. This is something which BA do also. So that is done. And before going to the development stage, take the complete notes or prepare a tracker, prepare a template. What are the things you require for development, like orchestrator setups, licenses, robot, login credentials, applications credentials, system credentials, all these things you take from the architect. And you act as a bridge between the technical team and the business team. Take from the technical architect and produce to the technical business team, and take whatever you required for your RPA projects before the development. Don't sit idle or don't wait for the other things to do. What testing data, testing environment, test data, or whatever you require, take 100% from your technical architect. Note it down and create some template and hand over to the business team. And before going to the development only, I recommend to take the complete setup, whatever you require to develop your robots, and set the expectations of the development team as well. Hand over to the development team, and and development goes in the development goes well, then you can achieve your delivery. That is something. And in the development stage, your developers is doing the development of the robot which you have identified as a process automation. So what you do again in the BA. So my recommendation in the development also, don't use it in the idle. So what you do is like basically how the development is ongoing, how what are the what we are achieving today and what we are achieving tomorrow and what we are achieving this week. So set an expectations to your the business team, or set an expectation to your technical team. And weekly take your update from the development team, and update to the business team. If you are updating like this weekly basis and all, then your business team also feels happy, and they know what you are going to deliver the product. If possible, as per the customer, as per the client, if possible, give the short demos of your the product which you are delivering. The product means that robot which you are going to deliver. Give the weekly demos or 15 days of demo to showcase what you have developed. In between, if you have any changes, if you have any suggestion from the technical team, business team, they will sorry, if any suggestion from the SMEs or the business team, they will tell, and you can implement accordingly. So this is called something we do in the development stage. Once the development is done successfully, the developers will do the functional testing. The functional testing you will be doing with the development team. And the next stage is testing and the UAT. In the testing stage, usually we do have a testers, or if you're not having the testing stage, BA is the responsible person to do the testing. So what testing he do? So whatever you have developed, the developer team has been developed the robot. So you create the test scenarios, take the test data, take your PDD,
create the test scenarios, test cases from each and every step, and compare the testing. And you do the testing from first step to last step, compare your pdd, and set the track your results, like expected results, actual results, expected result, actual result, actual result, expected result. You track the results, note down the results, and if you having, if you are feel any missing piece identified, if you are feeling this step is missed or that step is identified, inform to the technical team, the development team. Technical team means development team. And make it the change, necessary changes, and you go for the next stage. This is something we do as a testing stage. So usually we do is the business analyst, or if the testing team is available, the testers, you do the testing and give the test results to the development team. This is in the testing stage. Again, you are doing the documentation of test cases, test scenarios, and collect the test data, all these things. In the development stage, you are maintaining the trackers, like each stage how which developer is working on which stage, and tracking the results, and you are showcasing to the team. That is some document you are doing in development. In the testing, you are doing the test cases. Once the testing is successful, once the testing is when the testing is done successfully, you do have a phase of UAT. Before going to the UAT, as a business analyst, make sure your robot is 100% successful. You do the multiple test runs and track the results, and take the input from the COE team, take the input from the technical team, and check the 100% results. Before going to the UAT, we do follow some prerequisites. The prerequisites like UAT setup should be ready, UAT test data should be ready, UAT environment should be ready, and the business SMEs like SME, product owner should be available, and they should track the complete robot which we have created. So in the UAT phase, technical team, I mean development team, business analyst, COE team from the RPA, and the business from the business side like client and the SME, product owner, or some delivery manager, they will be there. You will be demonstrating your robot, and you will be running the robot in the UAT environment and track the results. So they will see the complete robot thing which it is executing, and they need to identify the results, and they need to tell if they're having any misspeak, if they're having something issue. So as a business analyst, whatever the business team is telling, what are the expectations and all, you need to explain them, and whatever going to deliver, you need to explain them, and what is this UAT stage and what we are going to achieve, you need to tell them. And if they're telling any issues, if they're having any problems, if they're having any missing piece identified, you need to note it down and inform to the development team, and you need to go for the next stage. If the UAT stage is successful, take the sign off for UAT. So please make sure to take the sign off of UAT stage. It is very, very, very important. So once the UAT stage is done successfully, take the sign off. Then we do have a deployment stage. In the deployment stage, as a business analyst, you need to take care the requirement of the deployment, licenses, orchestrator setup, robots, usernames, passwords, whatever you required for the deployment. For this use case, from the solution architect, gather the information, and take from the business team and hand over to the technical team. In the deployment stage, usually technical architect, developers, technical lead, technical managers will involve. As a BA, you are the bridge between the technical team and the business team. What are the requirements they have, and what these people can provide, you can provide, and make sure you give to take the input from the technical team 100%, and give the complete setup to these guys, and make this stage 100% successful. In the deployment stage, usually we deploy our robots in the production environment, and in the deployment stage, or the hyper deployment stage, we do call as a hypercare as well. Before going to the deployment, we do a stage called hypercare. In the hypercare, usually we run our robot as per standard 5 times. So 5 times in a run, 5 runs. In the 5 runs, we need to monitor the results, we need to track the results, and we need to share it to the business team, and the business team need to give the approval. Then only we will go for the deployment. In the deployment at the final stage, we are deploying our robots to the orchestrator setups. So this is something called deployment stage. And who is responsible? BA, developer, technical architect, technical manager, technical lead is responsible. That is something done. Next stage is change request. So change request, what is change request? Is a change request is the stage in the RPA. We do follow agile methodology. What is agile methodology? The agile methodology is the methodology where we can accept the change in any set of stage. For example, in the discovery, documentation, development, UAT, testing, any stage we are ready to accept the change, and we track the change, we prioritize the change, we estimate the change, we analyze the change, and we'll go to the next stage. So we are ready to accept the change. That is something we call an agile methodology. Okay. So in the change request, so what basically the BA do? So the BA is the responsible person to understand the change which is identified by the business team, whether it is in the documentation, whether it is in the process, whether it is in the robot, whether it is in the. So BA should be proactive always. The change should will be discussed with BA and the product owner or the business owner. Okay. So you need to do the impact analysis of this change. Means whether this change is required right now, whether this change has been discussed initially, whether this change has been identified initially, whether this change is done in any document, whether this why this change, how the change is impacted, estimate the type of change, like it is a minimal change, minor simple change, or a major change, and categorize the change and prioritize the change as per the customer expectations and all, and mitigate this change to the development team and estimate the proper change, and do follow accordingly as per the situation, as per the scenario you do handle. So change request is also a sensible stage in the RPA implementation. So BA is the responsible person for that. So please take care with your changes, and track the change, estimate the change, prioritize the change, and think like whether it is a minor change, simple or major change and all. Then as per the change, you take your measurements and the precautions and go to the next stage. So what is the next stage? The next stage is called maintenance or a delivery, or we called handover. So basically, like the maintenance stage or a delivery stage or a handover stage. So what is this stage? In this stage, whatever we have developed, we have already deployed, and the results are very clear, and we need to support to the business team until this project goes already it is in live. So this is we called as a go live stage, this is we called a handover stage, which is called a maintenance stage, and we called a support stage. So as a BA, what do you do in the handover stage? Whatever the documents you created from the each stage, discovery, documentation, development, testing, UAT, deployment, change request and all, track the complete documents, take the sign off of the document, and prepare a handover to the customer as per your templates you do have. Take the complete and hand over to the technical business team. In the handover also, you as a BA, you will prepare a user manuals. The user manual as per the use case, as per the client, as per the customer, as per the company, as per the tool, you do prepare the user manual. User manual is prepared by the business analyst. And solution architect also will prepare some of the handover document, which he usually showcase the solution and the robot and the technical terms which he have developed and the robot licenses, all these things he will deliver. So this is something we do in the handover documentation. And in the maintenance, so we do have a support team or a maintenance team. So once the going to the delivery done, once we have delivered the our robot or our use cases, our maintenance team or support team will be monitoring the results and taking care of the complete results, or if they're having any issues they will clear it from them side, or else if they are having any major issues they will escalate to the technical team or a developer who is responsible for this use case, and they will support to the customer. So maintenance stage also is a stage which we need to engage with the customer 100% and do the support to the customer 100%. So this is what guys in the SDLC. So this is something I need to showcase you in the SDLC, how the SDLC plays, and whatever the each and every stage as a VA he does. So if you want me to explore more, if you want me to cover more detailed in the each stage, do let me know in the comment section, or do reach me in LinkedIn, Nikhilesh Satyavarapu. So you can follow me in LinkedIn and ask me what your expectations from a BA and how do you want to prepare me the more content. So for this, just a small encouragement by clicking a subscribe button, so it gives us more encouragement to do the more videos. So thank you so much guys, and we will meet you in the next session. Thank you.